Hello, this is Manuela, your guiding light, and this YouTube video is why some people don't have children. Spiritual reason for it. So there are two types of scenarios. One is where somebody wishes to have children, deeply wants to have children and can't have children. And the other scenario is when somebody just chooses not to have children. It's a choice. So the difference here is the one that deeply wish to have children and can't have children is based on karmic debts. So which means that this person is carrying some karma from past life, which means in a past life this person neglected a child. So when we neglect a child, we create a bad karmic debt. So in order for this person to carry bad karmic debt from past life, one must pay the debt back first. So there are two choices to pay the debt back. One is to not to have children all lifetime. That means just accept that you don't have children and you will always have desire, but you will not have children. So basically, not having the children in our lifetime, you pay the debt back. And then in next lifetime again, you're starting fresh again. Or the other way to pay the bad karmic debt is to adopt a child and to raise some child, to give to another child a happy home and love and everything that the other child needs. So that way, you're paying the bad karmic debt back. And you probably noticed that you heard many stories that usually people that can't have children, they adopt and then they have their own children. Because of that, because as soon as you adopt, you're released from karmic debt. The problem is a lot of people are not open-minded to adopting children. And that way, they're choosing to pay the karmic debt by just not having children through all their lifetime. So that is one scenario. Karma plays a big role in everybody's life. Not many people understand it and not many people pay attention to it, or they're not ready to learn. They are not evolved enough to actually learn about it. But karma plays a big role in our lives. Everything from past life that we didn't complete, we're completing in this, or that we didn't learn, we're learning in this. And everything bad that we done in the past life, we're repeating, and we have to pay the karmic debts back. So that is that scenario. Now the other scenario is where soul just simply chooses not to have children, doesn't have desire to have children, or doesn't have need, and it's just really fine not to have children. So it's not because this person hates children or anything like that. So what's happening on a soul level here? This soul already done all that, learned all the lessons, balanced it all the karma. Your children creates the most karmic debts. With your children, every single karmic debt that it's created, it has to be paid, either good or bad. So you always have to pay the karmic debts back. And the most important key is to balance the karma. To balance the karma in every way. We cannot move into fifth dimension and live completely happy life until we balance the karma with everybody. Once we learned about the law of karma, that's when we live a really happy life, because there's no more karmic debts. So we cannot enter in new earth or into fifth dimension carrying even one single karmic debt. All karmic debt must be balanced. So your children, your relationship with children, or the soul contract with children, it's the most important when it comes to karma. Your romantic partners also teaches you about karma. So your romantic partners will teach you about the karma mainly. That's where you're gonna learn that what you're giving, you get receiving as well. What you give out, you will receive back. So your romantic partners will teach you about the karma. But your children will always come back. You will always have children for as long as you have some karmic debts, or for as long as you have some karma to balance. Sometimes it could be that a child done really bad to you. Sometimes it could be that you had in a past life child that really done bad to you, that beat you up, that really treated you really badly. Well, still, you have to have that child in this lifetime to balance the karma, to give that child opportunity to actually do some good for you. So this is where, for as long as we have karmic imbalanced with any child that we had in any past life, we will always have children. Once we balance all the karma, we don't need anymore to have children. So the soul is completely fine, because soul understand that there's nothing to balance, there's nothing to learn anymore. It's completely free from that. So soul doesn't need to have children. Now, if we're going back to real evolution, as when we actually incarnated on Earth first time, and when we look what we are learning as a soul, so every new soul, as a new soul, once it start coming to Earth, it's the major lesson the soul is learning is to live a life on Earth, to have a partner, to have children, to be a good parent, to be a good husband or wife, to learning about love, basically mainly. Love and survival, that is the main lessons that we're learning as a young soul, love and survival on Earth. So this is where soul is very focused only on being married and having children and doing that the best they can. As we're learning that, we're learning a little bit more. We're going into deeper lessons. We're going to learn about karma, which is very important. And you'll find it that with your romantic partners, with your marriages, you're learning about karma a lot. Now again, once you learn about karma, you learn really about the karma and you understand how it works, you're not going to desire anymore to be married, because you learned that. Again, that you don't need that. So as we're growing older, we're learning about karma as well. We becoming aware of our soul purpose. And that's the real game changer. Because we all have a strong soul purpose to do what we signed to do here on Earth. Once you are aware fully of your soul purpose, once it's there for you, you absolutely know what you're meant to do. Nothing else is more important but that. That also indicates that you learned everything that you need to learn in the past. You learn about the laws, you understand the universal laws. You also balance the karma, and all you need to do here now on Earth is to serve the purpose. So this is the reason why some soul people don't want to have children. They're focusing on their career, and that is their purpose. So they're really focusing on this purpose. So we have maybe souls that are really successful with their career. And logically, when you look logically everybody would say, well, they are focusing on their career, so they can't have marriage. The marriage and children can't work together. Well, it's not really like that. On a soul level, they learn all that. They done all that. They learn all those lessons. They balance all the karma. So these souls are in fifth dimension now. Either they're entering in fifth dimension or they are already in fifth dimension. So their soul does not desire to even be married or to have children. Usually this soul will not have long-term relationships because they done all that. Even if they have relationships, they're gonna be very short because it's only about maybe balancing some karma with past relationships or past partners and husbands that they had in the past lives. So that is the main reason why some people don't have children. And these souls and these people that are really okay with not having children, they're happy with that. So there's no need to even question that. They are exactly where they are. They're doing exactly what they need to do. So how does it work on a soul level when soul sign a contract? Before we actually incarnate to Earth, what's happening in heaven for you to choose to have the particular children? So the way it works, it's the soul of the child that chooses the soul of the parent. So the soul of the child, the soul, for example, decide to incarnate to earth, it's time to come back, preparing their soul plan, soul map. They know what they have to learn. So they're gonna search for the soul of a parent first, because the parents are major teachers. Your parents are your major teachers. So they're gonna look, okay, which soul of a parent I can choose. And it's all based on the lessons that they're learning. So if I know what I'm learning, for example, I'm looking for the parents that's gonna teach me that. So the soul of a child first choose the parent. So it's not the parent choosing the child, it's the child that chooses the parent, based on the soul lessons that they're learning. So the parents are the major teachers. Those things that your parents are constantly telling you and that it's really annoying to you, those things are going to follow you for the rest of your life. Those are your major lessons. So paying attention to that would be very, very wise, and learning and understanding that. So the key is to learn the lesson as quick as possible. And if you understand that your parent is your biggest teacher, and those things that really annoying you, that you're really struggling with your parent, try to pay attention to that. Ask yourself, okay, what am I learning here? How can I actually learn? Try to give your attention to that. Because if you're not learning from your parent, your next teacher is going to be your romantic partner. And that's going to be much, much worse. The lesson becomes harder. So if you didn't learn here on a lower level with your parent, which should be easy, you are learning on a higher level, which means it's going to be harder. So you're learning from a partners, which is going to be much harder. And every time you don't learn, you bring another. If you don't learn with one partner, well, you're going to be introduced to another partner, and it's going to be even harder. So every time you can't learn a lesson from one soul, you're going to a different soul, and every time it's getting harder and harder. So paying attention to that, what your parents are saying, and learning from there, that's going to bring you to a happy life and happy relationships. So that means you don't have to learn that lesson with your partner. You can have much easier and better relationships ahead. But as we said, the most important really lesson that we're learning is the law of karma, because that really keeps us stuck into suffering. That's what brings the suffering, is the law of karma. When we don't understand, especially when we don't understand what karmic debt are we actually paying, it would be really helpful if you would know what karmic debt we're paying. That would actually really speed up the process. But if you don't know what karmic debt you're paying, the suffering, it's strong, it's really big, and it's there until you actually understand the law of karma. So also what you need to understand is that there is no really need to beat yourself up. You have to understand that you are always in a form of involvement. Your soul is always evolving. So we are never perfect. Nobody is perfect. Whatever bad karmic debt you created, whatever bad things you done it because you didn't know any better. So there is no need to beat yourself up for what you've done, but make a commitment to do better, to learn, to understand yourself better, to understand your soul lessons, to understand where you made mistake and then do it differently again. And also being open-minded to different ways of learning, because we have many different ways that we can learn lessons. So if you connect to that, if you ask your soul, okay, how can I learn my lesson in a different way? Is there any different opportunity? Is there any different way? That will actually help you much. But accepting that nobody's perfect here. It's then when we are perfect. So what happens when we actually fulfill our soul purpose? We serve the purpose. So we learn the lessons with partners. We don't desire anymore to be married. We balance all the karma with children, with all the partners. We're serving the purpose. So that last lifetime that you're here, you're focusing only on serving the purpose. Nothing else is important to you. What happens after that? Well, you serve your purpose, you learn all the lessons, you can't be here anymore. There are no perfect souls on earth. So you can't be here anymore. What happens? You stay up in heaven and you become a spirit guide. And then you're evolving there to be a better and better on a higher level spirit guide. So we are always evolving. Either here or in heaven, we're always evolving. But here on earth, for as long as we're here, we always have something to learn or to balance some karma. Even if you're a spiritual teacher and you're only teaching and you're just really focusing on serving. So these are the spiritual teachers that are showing us that we can live an amazing life. They're teaching us how to manifest. They're teaching us how to actually succeed in life. So once they actually done all that, they are also in the same time preparing themselves to become a spirit guides in heaven. They done here, they have nothing else to do here, they're becoming spirit guides in heaven. And yes, they will be continuous to evolve there, to raise the energy vibration. It's about raising the energy vibration, to be more empowered and to be more pure light. So that's where we all heading. And it doesn't matter where you are now. What it matters is that you are aware that you are soul and that you are here to learn and to grow. And that awareness will push you much further and further. Always. So I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please click on like or subscribe. I'm sending you lots of love and light. And I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.